morning, Spartans! I'm Trinity.
And I'm Deshaun.
And let's go to Nick, Chris, and Kobe with a report on last night's Powder Puff football game.
Hey, thanks, Trinity. Speaking of Trinity, not only her, but the junior and senior Lady Spartans had a game on this very field last night.
Kicking off the game with the first touchdown was Trinity Scournick. She had a huge run to the back right corner. Another fantastic run was Ashley Cowdrey, making the score 14-0 for the seniors.
The seniors thought they were going to run away with it. However, the juniors made a great comeback. Ella Butts scored 2 consecutive touchdowns, tying the game at 14.
Last play of the game, Ashley Cowdrey, pick 6, runs in to win the game.
And that's a win for your seniors. Huge shout out to the cheerleaders that were there.
And thank you to everyone else who showed up to the game. Hey, special thanks to Bella Valoni for kicking 2 extra points.
Grace Barenbrock for the juniors also had 2 extra points. Great job, ladies.
Back to you, Deshaun.
Thanks for that, Nick, Colby, and Chris.
Are you a Spartan News subscriber? If not, you should be.
Bobby has a how-to video showing you how to be.
Thank you, Deshaun. Spartans, you guys gotta make sure you subscribe to our daily Spartan News YouTube channel. We're at 284 subscribers right now. We want that number to be 1,000. Go to the link, tinyurl.com/Spartan News Daily. Subscribe just like this. Hit the little button here. Hit the notification bell. Do it.
Thanks, Bobby.
How was your morning, Trinity?
It was good, but I struggled to find a spot to park.
Look no further. Eli has the info to help with that.
Thank you, Jay Sean. Parking can be a real problem. Students, make sure your parents are not parking in the student parking lot when it's time for school. We want to park in this one. You're a parent. Come over here. Drop your students off. Now back to you, Trinity.
Thank you for the great info, Eli. Speaking of being grateful, today is an important day for all of us that love our freedom.
Today is Veterans Day. We have 2 spills for you today. Hunter has prepared some Spartan comments about Veterans Day, and Mr. Owens has an interview with an active soldier, former Spartan News All-Star Braden Plank.
Alrighty, Mr. Zurich, why is Veterans Day important?
Veterans Day is important, I think, just because of the sacrifice that so many people have given to allow us to live the lives that we live in America.
Alrighty, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
The first thought that comes to mind is freedom, sacrifice also. Just amazing that so many people put their lives on the line to protect us and allow us to live in this beautiful country.
Alright, Mr. Shansky, why is Veterans Day important?
I think Veterans Day is important because it gives us a chance to recognize all the people who sacrificed for the freedoms we enjoy today.
And then what does Veterans Day mean to you?
I think it just gives me a chance to reflect on the life I have and how lucky I am to have it.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, thank you, Mr. Shansky.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Mr. Morris, why is Veterans Day important?
I think it's important because people have served for this country and they have given us freedoms that I don't feel like sometimes we are grateful for and sometimes we forget. And it's also, people have made the ultimate sacrifice of being killed in action and haven't been able to come back. So Veterans Day is very important to remember for those who have fallen and have kind of served our country.
And then what does Veterans Day mean to you?
Veteran Day is a little special to me. My grandpa was in World War II. He was an island hopper in the Pacific, so they went around island to island and built airstrips, and he was a mechanic. To this day, I still have letters that my grandma wrote to my grandpa, and we still have his jacket. He had a sword. He had all this stuff. So it's a little special to me because obviously I think everyone has someone who has served, but for us, it's kind of his memory of him lives on through those letters and his jacket.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Viberg, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
Yeah, big day for me in my social studies class. We always talk about it on the 11th, obviously. It's a day to remember all those that have fought and served to give us the freedoms, sometimes even the freedoms to disagree with one another, which sometimes we seem to have lost that ability. So yeah, Thursday is a real important day to remember not only those that have served, but also the families that make sacrifices that are here at home. So happy Veterans Day.
All right, thank you, Mr. Viberg.
You bet.
All right, Mr. Ahrens, what does Veterans Day mean to you?
Veterans Day for me is a day to remember those that have served, right? We have a lot of people in our community, a lot of people in my family. Currently, my cousin, she's a lieutenant. She drives a Sherman tank. So recognizing their service in pursuit of protection for us that get to stay comfortably here, get to spend the holidays with our families while they're away serving our country. So it's a day of remembering, right, and thanking those that are in the armed service for us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Ahrens.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey Brandon, thanks for stopping in. So excited to do a little Veterans Day intro. How you been?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. So tell me where you've been today.
So today I just got done with MCT, which is Marine Combat Training, and I just left Camp Lejeune, and I just got to the airport and left from Camp Lejeune to now I'm in Charlotte, and now my next stop is in Columbus, Georgia for jump school, and that is 3 weeks, and I get to jump out of planes for 3 weeks. So.
That is fantastic. So I just want to get this out of the way. One of the main reasons we're talking to you today is because of Veterans Day, and I just want you to know that Sparta High School is super proud of you and thankful for the way that you've dedicated yourself to protect our freedoms. So you are the man today.
Thank you.
So tell me what's some of the highlights of your experience so far as a Marine?
So one of them is like you learn a lot of core values, like honor, courage, and integrity. That's like the 3 main core values when it comes to the Marine Corps. And ever since I went through boot camp, I understood all three parts of the Marine Corps. And honor, it's just you have to hold that honor with like your name, because your name carries on wherever you go. So everyone goes by last name. So my name Plank's going to go on for generations, because it matters if I become a corporal or higher, I'm teaching the other people below me, and they're always going to remember that this person carries it on. So honor is a big thing about carrying around your name. Courage is being able to it's basically the facing fear in the face and just going with your gut, and just never having that second chance or that second gut feeling. Just always stick with it. And commitment is just whatever you want to put your mind to, is just always do it. Even it's the littlest things. I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. this time, and so I can have more of my day to actually do stuff. That's a commitment. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment, but just any little thing, and you just progressively get more and more. That's what the 3 core values are for.
Fantastic. Seems like you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you wanted to say anything to somebody who's thinking about joining the Marines or joining the armed services, what would you say to them?
Do your research. Find out what's your best suited for you. Whether that be if you want to be away from family, what you want to do, what kind of jobs you want. I'm never gonna preach just go Marine Corps just because I'm in the Marine Corps. If you want to go reserves, go reserves. If you want to have a job with aviation and fly aircrafts, go Air Force. If you want to be on a ship and learn a bunch of naval anything with naval bases and stuff like that, go Navy. And just do your research. Find out what best suits you, and then find out the benefits that come with it. So how long you're gonna be away from family, where you're gonna be deployed, because that determines on what branch you want to serve in.
Excellent. So as you've lived a lot of life in the last few months, what would be the thing that surprised you? I learned this about myself because I went through this.
So one thing I always struggled with, and I've always said this to my drill instructors, was integrity. And that's just doing the right thing when no one's looking. And I was the kind of person that if this person's not looking, or teacher turned around, I'm just going to slack off because that's just what I was. But now, like, I built that integrity where, like, everything I do, I make sure that, like, I do it, like, because there's always eyes on you, whether it be someone higher up than you, because there could be someone that right in this airport right now, it could be a captain that I don't know about, and he's going to have eyes on me because I'm representing the United States Marine Corps everywhere I go. I have to have that integrity wherever I go because that's something that the Marine Corps needs.
Fantastic. Well, before we finish the formal part of the interview, is there any shout outs you want to give back to your crew back in Sparta?
Yes. Well, first off, my Spartan News crew from last year, that was fun. I got to do term of the day. That was always fun. And you helping me out and learning how to do editing, I think it's really cool. If anyone else wanted to do Spartan News, I would do it. It's fun. One big shout out would be to my gym teacher, Michael Graham, because he helped me out physically. I told him that as soon as I listed, he like asked me instantly. He's like, "What do you need to do? Like, what are the requirements?" And then he would help me out. I work out in the morning with him. I'd work out after school. I'd do extra workouts in class and ask multiple questions. And he always helped me out through all the way.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for your time. I'm going to wrap up the formal part of the interview. And thank you so much again, Sparta High School. We love our Spartans, and thank you so much on this Veterans Day for protecting America.
Thank you.
You bet.
I could not be more thankful for our vets.
Let's roll into some hot news with Libby and Maya.
Thanks, Deshaun.
Welcome to Hot News.
A federal judge has approved a partial settlement that will provide $626.25 million of tens and thousands of Flint, Michigan residents who for years were impacted by exposure of lead in their drinking water. Their settlement, approved on Wednesday by District Judge Judith E. Levi, is one of the largest in Michigan's history.
Scientists have discovered a jellyfish that was found to be immortal. They say it can revert back to a near infant state, and there is no limit on how many times it can. Scientists are searching for a way to apply its properties to humans. This could potentially change humankind forever, says Chrissy Howard. That's it for Hot News. Back to you, Trinity.
Thanks, Libby. That's it for our news today.
Let's wrap up the news with a quote of the day from Eliana.
Don't be upset with the results you didn't get by the work you didn't do.
Now you've made it to the end of the video.
Maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
And maybe we won't.
So, Brandon, just tell me a couple of the bigger challenges you've had as a Marine.
So bigger challenges, it wasn't like the physical aspect. Like I wasn't like the most like athletic kid. I was never like the one that was like first one done with the mile. I would never was like the strongest one. But like the biggest thing was like mentally. Like I was a lot more mentally strong than a lot of people there. Not at first, but I developed it really fast. And mentally, it was hard because the day before the Crucible, it was September 27th, and it was the same day as my sister's birthday. It was the first time I ever got to celebrate it with my family, because usually we go out to the cemetery, because she passed away in 2013, July 6th, through leukemia. And I've always celebrated it. Usually do like a picnic out in the cemetery, lit off a lantern. And we never got to do it this year, so it was really tough. And everyone in my platoon kind of knew about it. And one night, that night, right before the Crucible, we're about to step off at 2 a.m. It was 8 p.m. and we were all just kind of sitting outside in the middle, and we all just started to do like a prayer circle, because we usually do it before we go to bed. And I got to go into the middle, and all 68 people were all wrapped around me, and they were like, we all just did a little prayer. And then I got to talk a little bit, and it feels a lot different when you have your brothers to your left and your right that have been there through like the ups and downs of boot camp for 2.5 to 3 months, and then like they've been from different parts of the world. And like just all connecting just for one goal in mind, which is to get that EGA in your hand and officially become a Marine.
That is an amazing story. I love that. So tell us what an EGA is and why that's so important.
So the EGA is what the Marine Corps is the key to becoming a Marine. So it's the hemoglobin anchor, and it's what you get after going through the 54-hour Crucible. And that last hike back, it's a 15K hike. And you have all your stuff that you went through the Crucible. I think the pack's like 60 to 70 pounds, and you hike all the way back to the parade deck where they do a ceremony, and your drill instructor will hand out your EGA, which is like this little metal hemoglobin anchor. And like after a while, because your drill instructors have to like just tear you down just to build you right back up, and they're at you at 24/7. And that day, whenever they shake your hand and look you in the eyes, not as a recruit, but as a brother in arms for the rest of their lives, it's a feeling I'll never forget. And just like them shaking your hand and then telling you that you earned it and that you're going to go far is something that like is always going to stick with me. I will remember every drill instructor. I'll remember the drill instructor that gave me my EGA. I'll remember every single thing that will happen.
Wow, that is quite a moment. 54 hours in the crucible.
Yeah, you get like 2 to 4 hours every night for sleep, and then you're up right back at it again, doing multiple like obstacles. You're doing patrols, and you're just constantly like pushed to your limits.
How much value do you put in being able to look back on that experience, and what does it prove to you? What does it prove to yourself?
So one big thing about the Crucible was like it shows that how much of a leader you can be when it comes to the worst times. Well, that means you have little sleep, not anything to eat, not enough water. You're struggling, you're hurting, and it shows how like strong you are, not just physically, but again mentally. Because it's just like when you're at that moment where you just hate the world because you're in so much pain. You have to be able to stick through so that you can still guide the people to your left and right, so they know what they're doing. And I was a squad leader during the whole thing, so like I had to like guide my whole squad, which is like 20 people. Even though I'm hungry and stuff like that, if their pack was too heavy or they couldn't carry it, I would help carry stuff because I'd rather hold on to the pain than give it to someone else. So that was a big thing. Is just you always have to depend on the people to your left and your right.
Wow, that is such an incredible experience. I'm not sure I could survive it, but I really admire the fact that you did, and I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you look back at that throughout your life, and if you face a challenge, you're like, I can do that because I proved it to myself. I did it. I did the Crucible, so this is the kind of person I am. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. What about the food? What's the food like?
Food's horrible. Sometimes. One time we got to have a lobster and steak once. It was because it was the Navy's birthday, and the Marines are the Department of the Navy, and it was the day before we had to leave. And I remember stepping in the chow hall and just like smelling like really good food. I'm like, this is lobster. And I'm like, it was amazing. But if you don't eat the chow hall, you eat box chow, and you get like ham sandwiches that are like shaped like bricks, and you get like hard-boiled eggs that are wrapped in plastic that are like all like squishy, and then like you get low-fat Cheez-Its. It's really bad.
But the hot chow is like so-so.
Yeah, hot chow, like it wasn't the best, but it was a 4 out of 10 compared to the box chow, which is a 1 out of 10.
Awesome.
It was always something to look forward to.
Excellent. Well, you got jump school coming up.
Yep.
Are you really looking forward to that, and what does that mean?
I'm looking forward to it. So it's 3 weeks. The first 2 weeks are just kind of like learning how to jump. First week, like you just learn how to you learn the fundamentals of landing and how to like properly land so you can get like less prone to injuries. And then the second one, you get like thrown out of a tower like on a rappel to simulate like the gust of wind throwing you out the plane. And then the third week, you take 5 jumps. And to like signify that you know how to jump. And then that third week you get this like little medal, and it's called the jump wings, and like probably like a small percentage of the whole Marine Corps gets it. So
okay,
it's like a big privilege to have one. It's like small people have it, and like certain MOS does, certain jobs have it, and like luckily my job has it, and there's not a lot of us in the Marine Corps. So
well, that'll help differentiate yourself for further promotions and hopefully moving up the chain of command.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. This has been absolutely delightful. Anything else that you want to say before we sign off?
Well, also I just want to say to everyone in Sparta, I appreciate every single one of you. Every single one of you made an impact on my life, whether it was the small interactions in the hallway, or if you were my long life friend, or you were a teacher. Everything you did created me who I am today. So I want to say thank you.
Awesome. You're delightful to talk to. Thank you so much, and have a great time, and check back in. We appreciate hearing from you.
All right.
All right. Take care, brother.